Right now, where do you kind of want to see this offense make the biggest jump from where it's been to this week?
I think we're playing good football. We just want to uh, be ready to play against a good team Saturday. I'm not, trying to address any glaring things. We just want to keep getting a little better at everything each week, the main thing is to continue to take care of the football the way we have. That's been the most important factor in us being able to stay in games.
How hard is it to evaluate kind of the first half of last game just because there was a very small volume of plays?
Yeah,
Like, is
that
it a
was
challenge
the
for you?
was that was the strangest game I've ever played. I mean, the way they first of all they stayed on the field a long time on their opening drive, so it felt like forever till we got out there, and then we scored in 2 plays. It was so fast, and then we didn't get the ball back again for quite a while again, and by the end of the first quarter we had 5 plays, and so I've never experienced that before. 19 plays at halftime. The downside that we're responsible for was we had 3 3-and-outs there that were unfortunate. Um, but the best way I can describe it is it was sort of like playing against one of the military academies where they grind the clock, keep the ball away from you, and then when you get out there, you sort of start pressing like we got to make something happen right now because I might not get the ball back for half an hour, and we fell into that trap a little bit in that first quarter. And so once we got to halftime and kind of worked our way through, like, hey, stop pressing, just execute. Then we ran the ball really well in that second half and got it going, and so it was a strange game, but we got it done.
I'm curious, like with those 3-and-outs, do you take anything from that from week to week, or do you really just attribute
Sure,
those?
yeah, we study. How did we get there? 3 and out usually starts with not a good play on first down, but in the last week's case, one of them we had a 2nd and 1. We made 9 yards on first down. We had a 2nd and 1, and I chose to take a shot down the field on a play action pass, and one of our receivers got jammed up, and Jaron held the ball too long and got sacked, and all of a sudden we went from 2nd and 1 to 3rd and long. So they were all sort of different, different scenarios, and we just got to do better.
I know you said a couple weeks ago that the way the running game kind of went out, like with the carries and everything, it wasn't necessarily what you thought it was in the beginning.
Yeah,
Are you closer to having them being there to where the distribution of carries is what you expected now?
I think we're closer, but also, what's happening now is you get this far into the season and guys get beat up, so you start from week to week. I mean, our lineup changes so much every game. I've never been through such a drastic lineup changes from game to game, and so we're at least with the perimeter players. So every week it's sort of like who's available, what are their bumps and bruises like, how much can they practice. Big part of what you see on Saturdays is how many practice reps the guy took, because I don't believe in just putting somebody out there that didn't practice. I want to call plays against a quality opponent that haven't been repped. So that's a factor. But I do think each of our running backs are getting better, and as they're getting better, we're sorting some things out in the run game. Maybe a few of the run plays we're running now might not be the ones that Tyler Algier was the best at. They might be. Maybe these guys do different things better. We're figuring those things out as we go along.
With Miles Davis particularly, is he banged up at all from last week?
Yeah, a little bit. He's a little bit banged up, and I'm hopeful that he'll play Saturday. I think he'll be able to go, but he got dinged up a little bit. That's why he didn't return.
And with Miles particularly, you talk about a guy that maybe is a little different than Tyler. Is he kind of a guy?
Yeah, he's a speed guy, and he's still new to the running back position. So we're figuring out what things he does well. We're figuring out. We sort of know Peeny. Peeny is who he is, and he's been a good player for us. And then Chris, we're still learning about Chris too. And I thought Chris took a great step forward last game. He really responded well to Miles having a good game the week before. He could have he could have pouted about it or gone in the tank, and he didn't. He stepped up and he was ready to have a good game this week. So I was really proud of him. He showed a lot of character.
Kalani highlighted that as, I guess, some inspiration for a guy like Jake to hopefully take him that competition and spur him. Is that what you hope for a guy like Chris to do?
Absolutely, because there is no doghouse here. We don't ever, no one's ever just, set aside. It's just if somebody else steps up and plays well, then what you hope for is that the other guys will raise their level too.
How much inspiration? Oh, sorry, Jay. How much inspiration do you take from like other schemes that you face in a season and maybe incorporate them, if at all, in season?
In season,
yeah.
Not a ton. Once in a while, you see a play that you might think, oh, that one little wrinkle might fit us. But that type of thing is usually spring ball and fall camp when you're experimenting with new things. And we have a system that's worked very well for a couple years, and we are doing some different things this year because we're learning about our players that some of our stuff needs to adapt a little bit. But once in a while, a play here and there.
You've talked about Ethan Erickson kind of
Yeah.
being the guy, and it looks like he stepped in for
Yeah.
the guy who left. And just how gratifying was it to get him the touchdown?
It was. I think I mentioned him in fall camp to you guys that he's going to be a good player. I said know when. He got thrown in there and he responded well. He did what I expected him to do. He's long, very athletic, and he's tough. He's a really tough kid, and so he seized the moment for sure, and he's going to play a big role in this game.
You didn't want to tell me the name of the play. Is that something you tell your guys? Hey, don't tell the media guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially that one. Yeah, because you say the play names on TV, on the field. It's a no huddle play. You say it on the field, so we don't want to give those away. Yeah.
Mason obviously has been playing tight end more and more.
Yeah.
If you guys, I don't know how to say this, have you done away with more of a traditional fullback in your offense?
No, he's played a lot of fullback this year. Mason's a guy who hasn't really been healthy all season either. He's sort of been battling a few things. He never complains about it or whatever. But no, we don't really line up in I formation very much, but we never did. He's a wing. He's moving around, lining up different places. Sometimes he's on the ball. Most of the time he's a wing guy that's we try not to let the other team get a beat on where he's going to be and who he's blocking. But I would still consider him a fullback.
Okay.
Yeah.
With these wide receivers, it feels like there's a different kind of younger guy that steps up every week.
Yeah.
A lot of that's obviously opportunities with, Gunner and Puka being a little bit more touch and go, but it's like Chase, Keanu,
Yeah.
Cody was really big, I think, the other night. Have those kind of the other guys, I guess we'll say the younger guys, have they done something different where they've been so ready to just step up and fill some roles for you, or is it just a matter of them getting the time, I guess?
I think it's different in each case. I mean, like Cosper seems young because he hasn't played much, but he's been around for a long time. He's just had really bad luck with injuries, but he's been here, and we've believed in him for years. He just kept getting hurt, and now his experience in the program is showing on the field, even though he's relatively new maybe to some of the fans. Same with Cody. This is Cody's third year in the program, and he missed all last season injury. Yeah, exactly. But Cody came from Notre Dame, so he was like already very college prepared. Played with Bryce Young in high school, very well coached. He was a polished guy when he got here, and now he's third year in the program too. So he's playing like a veteran, even though he's a freshman. And then Keanu showed up and played well last year, so he's a veteran player as well. So I'm not surprised at all. I thought they would. What I'm most surprised about is that we haven't had Gunner, Puka, and Chase on the field together yet. That still hasn't happened, and I'm looking forward to that day. But until then, we'll play with the guys who are playing well, and we'll just keep rolling.
This Notre Dame defense held Ohio State to 21 points.
Yeah.
What do you see from them, and do you have? Or are you going to have to do something differently to move the ball against these guys?
I see a physical front seven, big physical front seven, as you would expect from Notre Dame. It's going to be, you're talking about body types like we saw at Oregon and Baylor, big, long, levered guys that are really tough and hard to block. And then speed in the secondary and length. Their corners are tall, their safeties are tall and long, they can run. So just tons of length and athleticism. And then, we don't drastically change our offense for anyone, but you bet we'll have some wrinkles and we'll have to make some adaptations to find a way to get some first downs. We need to eliminate those 3 and outs that we had last week and in that first half and stay on the field. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.